because even if he's bad, he's going to get advice from good people. You know, that's one good thing about a bad instructor. If he doesn't know what he's going to do, he's going to go to the hip guy. Hey, what do you do about this? And then he'll go show up. I want you to do this. You know, he gets his good information. That's what I find around. But it's better because when you go through a book, millions of things can happen. I'll give you an example. Years ago, a girl came to me when I was doing some teaching, and she didn't have her guitar with her, and I made her play this tune. This was like an old Black Joe type thing, you know, like where everybody knew the melody, right? About chapter 4, about page 17. So all of a sudden she played it good, and I sent her home, you know, gave her the next lesson. And the reason she come to me for lessons, she'd been practiced all by herself, but on this particular tune, Old Black Joe, she knew how the tune went, but it never sounded like it, you know. So I worked on it with her, and then she come back. Next week, I said, bring your guitar. She came in with her guitar, and all the strings were laying flat. And I says, well, didn't you tune it? She said, what do you mean, tune? I said, well, did you tune the guitar? She said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, did you ever do this? She said, all the time. She says, until it didn't hurt my fingers. Now, you see what I mean? So now here was a case, here's a girl that just loosened the hair until everything was flat, so it didn't hurt her fingers. Now, how do you tell somebody, you look at them and you say, I gotta remember that story. I can't believe that one. You follow me? But now to her, who's going to tell her? She bought a guitar, she bought a book, and there they didn't say nothing about tuning pegs. So she went, and as soon when she got a lesson is when it didn't sound like Old Black Joe, because everything was sounding like. She was happy for 3 weeks, right? And now she says, no, that doesn't sound like Old Black Joe. I know how the tune goes. You see, it was unbelievable. That's what happens when you try and do it yourself. That, in her case, she couldn't do it, you know. All right, the next tune, there's no tune on there. I'm going to play the cassette. This was the same picture. It was this Gloria, where they told me, myself and the sax player, and they said they loved what we were doing with the gut string or the nylon string and the sax, so they said, just play, you know, and they brought in a singer from New York, Puerto Rican style singer. And so they just kept cueing us in. And you'll hear some of the gimmicks that I told you about when they don't give you music. Because they paid him a lot of money. was that same picture. They just said, okay, play at the start. And we play, and then they cue the singer in, the sax player in, and then all of a sudden the music started. Yeah.
They really didn't care as long as it fit the picture.
No, they cared because they loved what they had heard us do early on this stuff. That's why they cared. They said, just play. In fact, I hustled the name credits on the picture for me and the sax player. And the only reason I hustled also, they were playing back all this music, you know. And I was seeing the name credits of everybody, you know. And it was Casavades, it was the director. I said, how come I don't see Tom Tedesco on guitar and Tony Ortega on sax? He said, yeah, you're right, that should be on there. You know, so that was awesome. Yeah. And they put it on. But if I didn't say it, forget it. But see, and the reason I do that, it helps. Because now all of a sudden, I just did a show, Cassie with Angie Dickinson, a new show. And the reason I did that because J.J. Johnson heard this movie. He freaked out over my playing on the gut string. So he hired me for a bunch of shows. You know, he was sitting there and wondering who did that guitar. He saw my name, he called me. He said, hey, I'm doing this new show. I want to use you for a while. You know, dollars and cents, cash is ring it up.
Advertising all across the country.
Yeah, well, sure. Gloria. You know, it's and like I say, it's been dynamite for gimmicks like that happen. That's what that's all about, gimmicks. Yeah.
Is that studio work cash on the barrelhead for you?
No. Are you kidding? Well, I could make a lot of money then. No, it's Uncle Sax. What's his name? Sax or Sam? Sam. Uncle Sam Sax. Yeah. He takes it all. In other words, it comes to us just like a regular job. You know, the money. If I make $300, it goes to the union, and whoever hires us, they're the employer. They take out the taxes, and you clear 112, whatever it is. And every job, it just changes. You know, no, it's not cash at all. Questions?
Do you play the steel string much? Black top?
I play it, but it's I don't think it's as pretty as this guitar. You see what I mean? That's my gimmick. And when I say gimmick, it really is a gimmick, because it might say acoustic steel on there. And if I think that this is prettier and they'll like it better, I'll just go to this. I'll give you another story. There's a big composer, one of the most famous Hollywood composers, called Jerry Goldsmith. Many years ago, he was doing a movie, you know, and all of a sudden, I never worked with him. He didn't use the same two guys for 10 years. And finally, one of the guys couldn't make on a Tuesday. They made the job Monday. So Tuesday I show up and I look at this part, and it had a solo, and the solo was something like this. You know, very basic on acoustic steel. So I looked at that and I said, boy, I bet you that'd be pretty on a gut string, nylon string. I said, boy, I bet you that'd be pretty up an octave. So as soon as they started playing, I didn't ask nobody, I just said, and all of a sudden he stopped the whole band. He says, guitar, what's going on? That sounds gorgeous. You know, what are you doing? Nothing. You know, what am I doing? I schemed it all, but what am I going to say? So he says, well, let's try once more. And he heard it, and he stopped the band again. He says, hey, Mike, who's the contractor, he says, get all the music we did yesterday over here. He says, they had that guitar solo. I want that sound. See, now, the other guy was doing what he's supposed to do. Says, play it on acoustic steel, he played on acoustic steel. Played the low notes, he played it. I don't. Whenever I take a job, or I look and say, I wonder how I could improve this, that he would dig it. You know? And so every once in a while, we do like I told him. Every once in a while, I said, no, I don't like it. Okay, fast, I'll go back. But I take the shot. 9 out of 10 times they'll like it. Because I've been playing for a million years. They learned how to write guitar in 3 easy lessons, you know. They're still not going to be on top of it as much as we are. Yeah.
Do you have to carry all these around with you?
Yeah, well, I don't carry them. We have cartage companies that bring you everything. Cartage company is a delivery service. When I walk in, my amp set, my electric set, my pedal board is all set up.
They do that for you?
Mm-hmm. They have it set up, and there's an acoustic guitar, and right next there will be 2 boxes with mandolins, bazookas, anything else in case we need it. You know, that's exactly what happened. That's why they say we're spoiled Hollywood guys, because we really are. You know.
And you get them drive away afterwards. They pack it up for you.
They pack it up. Well, that's only me. I mean, I shouldn't say only me. Everybody gets it delivered, but other guys guard their guitars with their life. I don't care. Let it fall. You know, they pack it, they unpack it. I'm lazy. I let them do everything. You know, So that's exactly what happens. They bring it to their delivery place, and like when I go home Wednesday, they'll call and say, what are you doing? Okay, Monday morning, bring this to 20th Century Fox at 9 o'clock. I'll be there 6 hours. Tuesday, I'll be Universal. Wednesday, I'm not working. Thursday, do whatever. And it shows up, and they come and pick it up. Yeah.
Do you feel like if you buy a piece of equipment like a guitar and you don't pay very much for it, it's not really that great that you can, really play it well, do you feel like there's any reason you should buy anything more expensive?
No, expense doesn't enter into it with me. I mean, it's either, some of the classical work you're going to hear was done on a $75 guitar. Did you hear that solo you just heard? That was done on a $75 Mexican guitar. And did you hear me tell you I had a Ramirez? It's $5,000, right? Because that's the guitar that makes that sound. It gives you that warm, mellow Mexican sound. I played on a Ramirez. I keep sounding like I should be doing the concerts. So that's exactly what you're talking about. It has nothing to do with it. Just like whenever I play the guitar for whatever I feel a job. Like a lot of guys will kid me. They say, you play the Yamaha because they gave it to you. I can see me going broke next year because they give me a bad guitar. I make $250,000 a year, right? And I finally down to 10,000 because somebody gave me some free guitars. Oh, that sounds terrible. No, it doesn't mean nothing. We make too much money. Yeah.
Well, if something was to happen to that $75 guitar, how could you replace that sound?
You can't. You get close, and you'll be scuffling around and and looking around, and then I play my Ramirez and convince myself it sounds good. I say, oh yeah, it really does sound good. I'd be jiving myself. I'd be hitting myself.
What I'm getting to is, you said you didn't care whether they fell down or not. If you have
Oh no. I should say that particular guitar is different because I'm talking about the usual electric guitars.
Right.
That whoever made this in Mexico, whatever, I like that guy wherever he is, whatever he is. That's hard to duplicate that one.
Well, these cartage companies, they're kind of do they charge you a bunch for that kind of service?
They charge between $80 and $150 to drop off the stuff.
For one shot.
Yeah, but we don't pay it. The companies pay it. You see, in other words, when we go to work, they put out a bill, delivering, and the drummers have that, the bass players have that, and the guitar players have that. So we don't pay a thing. Yeah.
You were mentioning now your effects rack. When you first started doing articles for guitar players, your pedal board was a...
It was a toilet seat. It was. I had it on a toilet seat. Well, it was my way of showing it. Well, the guys had $5,000 boards, right? All right. So I put a toilet seat and I put a wah-wah pedal on and a phaser. I used it for 3 years. But that's all we ever used on all the TV shows. But the others looked impressive, right? Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. I was doing a picture one time, and Dennis Buttermer has one that was worth $3,000, And they heard this small stone phaser like the one I got here, and he says, Dennis, could you try and get the sound Tom's getting? And everybody in the band cracked up, because here I am with the toilet seat, and here he is with this big pedal board. And the only reason a couple guys made me pedal boards, so that's why I use them now.
Well, how do you feel about people that they know about 3 hot licks and they go through every kind of electronic piece of equipment to improve their playing?
Oh no, well, you see, you got to remember, I'm a firm believer that everybody will fail a blindfold test. 90% of everybody in music. In other words, I have a gimmick. If for years I've been sitting there doing an album, right, and I sat there where producers say, "Tom, give me a little more highs," and I turn around and I do this. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. I've never in 30 years had one guy say, "Gee, I'm not sure. It sounds the same to me. If I could hear that once, I'd be straight." And give everybody a lot of hand clapping. 30 years. I go, because I'm always testing people, right? Is that better? Yeah, that's better. A little more, okay. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody's that way. Everybody's that way. And everybody's afraid to say, I don't know. Well, God forbid anybody should say that to anybody. Are you kidding? Yeah.
Maybe I'm